Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole, and I'm very happy to be with you today. The seasons are changing. Our temperature is changing. The skies are changing. The light is changing. When I look outside, when I wake up in the morning, I feel the crispness in the air and realize that we are right now in a pivot. We're literally in a weather pivot. And this happens for everyone who lives in the seasonal area. And as you know, I live in New York City. So we have those shifts and changes every season that remind us there is movement afoot. Life continues if we are so blessed. And how we engage life changes a bit, if only because of the temperature or the weather conditions. We realize that we have to make choices in our lives to protect ourselves and to make ourselves comfortable so that we can move forward with intention and clarity and as much comfort as possible. So what does that mean for us as spiritual beings looking to guide our steps, to make smart choices, to live with the greatest amount of consciousness as we can? I think that's one of the questions we're always grappling with. How can we fully inhabit our consciousness and be brave, be smart, be careful, be bold, and make choices that will support the goals that we have and the values that we intend to live by. And, I think about young people, and there's a boldness that many young people have that helps them to leap forward even when they are uncertain about what may be on the other side of that leap. There is it's like the engine is strong and the faith in themselves, hopefully based upon good training and wise thinking, but also for young folks, especially just this boldness. I can do it. I can do anything. I can push forward and make things happen. And I do think that that's important as we live our lives, to have that inner turbo kind of that tells us, boom, we can move forward. We must move forward. We must make the choice to keep pushing ahead. Choice is important and is all part of us becoming our best selves. What choices do we make? A lot of choices that we make are unconscious. Step by step, we wake up, we get out of bed, we eat, we check off the boxes of our day, sometimes consciously, sometimes not. Very often, our choices are rote because we have set ourselves up to live a certain way and to do certain things. And if we think about humanity in relationship to the animal kingdom, for example, because we are considered animals, then it's really clear for many of us that that level of consciousness that we do have and can cultivate can set us apart. Because I think about watching ants, who are fascinating beings, and they have a clear path. I'm going to get food. I'm carrying it back. I'm building the what is it called? The ant hill. That's not what it's called, but they build their home so that they can bury the food or take it back to the mother who's in the center. I mean, if you watch them, you'll see that there's a determination and a focus that these little beings have. And if you watch a stream of them, you see them doing the same thing. It's like an assembly line. And their level of consciousness, I think, gives them that understanding of choice. for how they are to move through space and time, day after day, and it becomes rote. Some of us have developed schedules for ourselves that are rote. Now, it's important to have a schedule. It's important to plan your day in advance, to plan your day, your week, your month, so that you are executing your plan. I learned that years ago, and it's very helpful. But that is different from being rote, from just unconsciously doing. Instead of unconsciously doing, what if we step back and recognize that we as human beings, as sentient beings, have the ability to make conscious choices that can lead us down the path that our heart and soul tell us we should be following? Or if we aren't connecting to that inner voice that guides us, it can be a reckless choice and lead us down the wrong path. Or not even just, reckless is strong. Sometimes it's reckless, sometimes it's lazy, sometimes it's, sometimes we just give up. There are all kinds of things that happen. Sometimes it's just too hard to bring our conscious awareness to it, so we just do what we've always done. And I want us to think about refreshing our engagement with choice. I wrote a book some years ago called Choosing Truth. It's all about the inner journey and recognizing that there are choices that we make every day, whether conscious or not, that are either helping us to go further in the direction that we would like, or derailing us, or distracting us. And if you think about your own life and the choices that you've made, I want you to think about it. How often do you make a choice that you have contemplated significantly and determined this is what I should be doing? How often? Does it happen every day? Does it happen multiple times a day? Does it happen once a week? And I'm asking these questions not to make you feel uncomfortable. Instead, it is to have you reveal to yourself what your choices have been and how aware you are of them. And when there are tough choices to be made, are you doing whatever it takes to align yourself with that tough choice? And tough could be anything. It could be, it's often about discipline. And we've talked about discipline a lot here on Dreamleapers Inspiration, because we know in order to get from point A to point B, there needs to be some discipline in there. And let's say from point A to point Z, when there are multiple steps along the way, how do you get there without some form of discipline? And so choice very naturally can, and in my view, should include discipline. A knee-jerk choice can often send you down the wrong path. A conscious, well-contemplated, and considered choice can help you to stay in line with your goals. Does that make sense to you? So how do you do it in real time? Think about your day today. What is on your list? Have you made your list? If you haven't, pause and make it. What do you need to do today for yourself, for your family, for your work, for your health, for your home, for your community, for your country? What are the things that you value? Those topics. Write the topics down, and then point by point, write out what we call snackable content points, so small enough that you can accomplish it. So I go back to me as an author. I want to write a book. If I put as a topic, book, complete book, that's not enough. That's too big. In order to activate that dream, I need to break the big topic down into very small steps so that I can activate them. There is a book that I'm working on. It's an audio book of Dreamleapers Inspirations. I thought about it when we, early on in COVID, and my good dear, sweet friend, Fedora Barrios, who is so helpful to me in navigating Facebook and social media, recommended how I should do this. I got the equipment, I have it, and I've started, but I haven't completed it. And so I hear his voice in my head saying, do it, Harriet. You should do it. People would appreciate it. And a lot of the choices that I make are related to how I can be of service to people activating their dreams. And then I've had lots of distractions, whether it was physically dealing with my daughter coming back in the house during school and trying to navigate that. Not being able to travel and be with my family, especially my mother, who's 90 years old, only being able to talk to her as much as we can, but not being able to be with her. That was an interesting pivot. Then the time of such a long period of time of being quarantined, which still is largely in place. And so I could give you 1,000 things that have been part of my busyness. Also, in the best of ways, I've been busy with work. I will say that this period has had many challenges, but also blessings, because I've had a lot of work. And so the work takes up a certain amount of time. And then have I worked on that audiobook? Not as much as I should. Why am I saying this to you? Because a real example is easier than a theoretical one. And just like you, I have goals and dreams in mind that in this particular case has stalled a little. And so I have it at the top of my list again. And I have broken it down into small components so that I can activate it. And so there are a number of things that I've done. My assistant has helped me to look at the topics that we've covered already and what would we like to take into a book. And, I often use quotes. So I'm looking for quotes that can help amplify and bring to life the ideas that we engage in during these sessions. And there are other things that we put on the list. I'm mentioning it to you to say, if you have an idea and you've been thinking about it, you may have dabbled in working on it a little bit, but you haven't committed to the choice to get it done, you can do that right now. The power of choice is so incredible. It has to be combined with discipline and a schedule. I think having a schedule is incredibly helpful because if you give yourself deadlines, you have a much better chance of meeting them. Now, I mentioned, I think it was last week, this sense of thinking of your project like a baby, because that is how we think of big projects that we bring into being. And my niece, Corey Morgan, just had a baby just a few days ago. So that sense of birth is very much on my heart. It takes 40 weeks to bring a baby through the gestation period to life, into our world. What about considering that 40-week schedule for birthing our ideas, for making the choice to commit to something for 9 months in order to bring it to fruition? I think that's a really interesting concept for us to think about because it certainly says it takes time. You have to commit a significant amount of time to your dream in order for it to manifest. You have to be consistent in making the choice to work on whatever that dream is. You have to be willing to work on it even when you're busy, even when you're tired. You have to have the, the stick-to-itiveness that helps you to see that even if you have 50 other things to do, that has to stay on your list. And then you have to forgive yourself if you don't work on it as much as you promised that you would, and then you recommit and work on it. This is how we make dreams manifest. They don't typically just emerge out of the ether as fully formed concepts, projects, whatever they might be. What does happen in meditation, in quiet contemplation, the kernel of the idea may come to you. And then you have the choice as to how you are going to manifest that. Do you see the difference? The inspiration can come through meditation. Absolutely. Can come through prayer. Can come through quiet time. Can come through a walk or a run. However you engage your spirit so that you can hear the voice inside. Inspiration comes like that. Then what do you do with that inspiration? You have to work on it. You have to cultivate it. You have to choose to bring it into being. And so I love the 40-week idea, because if you work on something every day for 40 weeks, there is no doubt that you will have something to show for that effort. And there's no question about it. If you sort of are unconscious about whatever it is that you have in your mind and being that you want to do, and you just sort of move through your day making choices without connecting consciously to them, well, 40 weeks can come and go and it's nothing. You see how fast time zips by. That's why, as I started this broadcast talking about the weather changes are one of those indicators that help you pay attention. Okay, a season is changing. What have I done? Have I spent my time well in the past season? What should I bring forward? What should I shift? How should I refresh? As I put on a sweater and a coat, am I also cloaking myself with what I need in order to fulfill my dreams and needs and desires in a more specific and meaningful way? All these indicators help us to pay attention to who we are, what we care about, and how we can move forward if we keep coming back to conscious awareness of choice. So I found a quote. I like these quotes. Let me find one for you. This is a good one. It's kind of takes us to the next level as it relates to choice. And it's from Wayne Dyer, an amazing thinker and spiritual being. He says, live today. Let go of your attachment to your past as an excuse for your life conditions today. You are the product of the choices you are making right now. Okay, let me read that to you again. From Wayne Dyer. Live today. Let go of your attachment to your past as an excuse for your life conditions today. You are the product of the choices you are making right now. Isn't that powerful? Because as I was saying about the pivot and you thinking about what you did over the summer, say, over the last few months, how did you live your life? What were you thinking about? What were you, based upon what you were thinking and the conditions that you were in and your ability to be conscious through all of that, what did you do for yourself that was good? What progress did you make in being your best self? Did you take off? Did you push pause? And sometimes pause is okay, but did you pause and refresh yourself? Or did you pause and just languish? What choices did you make? I think it's important to notice those choices, but not to be bound by them, not to be caught in the quicksand of your choices. But to recognize that in this moment, in the moment of conscious awareness, that is when you can make a choice. You can pivot to doing something that's best for you. Only when you have conscious awareness, when your heart, soul, being tell you, I don't know about that one. Let's not do that. Let's stop whatever this is that's not serving us. Let's take a breath and reset and make a choice in this moment that's best for the next moment. So let me read what Wayne Dyer said again. Live today. Live today. Let go of your attachment to your past as an excuse for your life conditions today. You are the product of the choices you are making right now. Now that's pretty deep too. How many of us say, well, I'm this way because of how I grew up. I don't have the resources I need because I didn't have them when I was growing up. I don't have something. There's a something. I don't have X because this happened in my past. I'm behind the 8 ball because of what happened in my past. Those things, by the way, could be absolutely true. I don't want to say to you that your past doesn't matter. It matters a lot. Our history, our family history, our historical track matters a lot. Our choices from the moment we got on this planet and had conscious choice to today matter a lot. But the only thing you can change is this moment, how you behave in this moment, what you think, what you say, what you do in this moment, what you plan for the future in this moment. That is the power of choice. And every one of us has the ability to make a conscious choice right now that can either further us in the pursuit of our goals and dreams or not. I want to go forth. I want to further these dreams. I want to make more dreams come true. Like I said, for me, I'm working on the audiobook. What are you working on? I have other things I'm working on too, but as I share with you, the best way to fulfill a dream is to focus on one, get that done, check that off, and then pivot and go to another. If you are actively working on multiple dreams at one time, there's a very good chance you won't get anything done in a good time, in a good amount of time, because you are spreading yourself too thin. So, with that in mind, think about if you have your work, you have to spend time on that. Your family, you have to spend time on that. Your physical being, to be healthy, you must spend time on that. You also have to make a priority, whatever your dream is. Put it at the top of your list so that 1 hour a day, you focus on it. If you do that, you create space for your dream to manifest. If you choose, we're talking today about the power of choice. If you choose to spend time every day developing your dream, it will be developed by you. It's that simple. And if you can't do every day, you don't do every day, you skip a day, don't beat yourself up. What did he say? Don't get burdened by past actions. Live today. And in this day, you can refresh, you can reset, you can say, oh, I didn't do it yesterday. I'm back at it today. You are worth it. We are worth it. We get to inspire each other to live out the greatness that lies within us. Don't you think you're worth it? I do. I think we all are. So let's go for it. Work on that dream 1 hour a day. Make the conscious choice to nurture it, to build it. In this 40 weeks, let's see what we do. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.